Hey everybody, so Jameel is here. Okay, my boys. Hey, my boys. All right, I'm getting ready to bring you in. All right, everybody. Now look, it's my homeboy, so we got a lot to discuss. I ain't talked to him in a minute, so y'all give me a few. I got a lot to discuss.
Hey,
What's up, my friend?
am I live?
Yes, you are
Live
live.
in the chat? What's up?
Yes, you are live now. How are you? I'm trying to turn down my music a little bit.
I'm good. How you doing? Good to
I'm
see you.
good. How have you been?
Doing all right, all things considered.
Yeah, are you in the office right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my apartment, which is also my office.
Oh, you're in your home office.
Yeah.
Because I heard, okay, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
before we get started, this is, and I must do it, Jameel or Jameel?
You can say it I prefer Jameel.
Jameel.
Yeah.
Jameel. This is Jameel. This is my friend. Okay, we met in what, 2011?
Oh, yeah, about that. Yep.
Yes.
It was for the pilot, right? The
Right.
TV show.
And so I was telling everybody, I was telling them on Instagram that we met, and I was like, I was shooting a reality show. I said,
Yeah.
don't even ask. Like,
And I was
it was just
directing a reality show, which is something I'd never done before and never did.
right. And so it was a completely different hat from where you are now. Obviously.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so
When I first came out, I was kind of just taking any job that I can get and just trying to do everything and learn like all the parts of the business.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is wine down. Do you have wine?
I don't drink. I can get some water. You know what though?
You don't do anything. Okay, so you don't drink beer. You don't smoke. You don't do anything, cigars or nothing.
And I'm a vegan, so this body is.
You're Mr. Natural. My gosh. Okay, all right, that's all right. Well, I'm gonna have my wine.
Yeah, feel free.
This is wine down with Yamma Brown. So this is my wine. I'm having some Cabernet right now. So anyway, okay. So I got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came out to LA from Baltimore. You grew up in Baltimore, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
where you from, right?
Yes, but it's so crazy. We didn't know each other in Baltimore. We didn't know each other until
now. My family's from Philly. I moved to Baltimore when I was 9.
So, okay.
I was born in Philly. Yeah. And all my family's still in Philly. All my cousins. My parents live in Vegas, but everybody else is in Philly. And my brother and sister are in Baltimore still.
Okay. All right. So, but
yeah.
What year did you leave Baltimore?
Initially I left for college in 1999. Yeah.
Okay.
Went to Hampton University. Then I came down.
Okay.
I didn't graduate, but yeah, I went to Hampton. I was there for a couple of years.
My husband's cousin went to Hampton. Like a lot of his family went there. So Hampton, had the university by the sea.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went. It was right on the water. It was real nice. And the other reason I went was because the ratio of girls to boys was I heard it was like 17-1. It was really, I think, like 14-1, but that was a big selling point for me.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you left there.
Right.
And then what'd you do?
I went back to Baltimore and I was kind of trying to figure out because I dropped out of college. Trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Then I went to acting school. I started doing that, and I started, auditioning up and down the East Coast. I got a speaking part on The Wire that ended up getting cut, but it got me my SAG card. So
that was nice.
That was the deal. And then I came
out.
You
know how I got my SAG card?
Oh.
A McDonald's commercial with my dad.
Oh yeah.
In 1983.
Oh wow. Is that something I can view somewhere? Is that on YouTube or something?
Yes, it is. You can YouTube it.
I
Yes.
gotta check that out.
You can absolutely YouTube James Brown McDonald's commercial, and I am the little girl that comes up at the end and asks him for his autograph.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I gotta see that. And that got you your SAG card.
Yes, that's how I got my SAG card. And Toronto was where it was filmed. So Dad had a show, and they did the McDonald's commercial like that. And he was like, "Come on, I think I can put you in the commercial. Make them pay about 10 grand." What I need to do, Daddy? You need to eat chicken nuggets, and then you need to come up and do this. No problem.
Now, were you nervous, or was it something?
I was nervous initially. I was only nervous because the cameras were there, right? And it was other people. But to interact with him, I wasn't nervous because that was Dad. So I was cool. Yeah, I was cool. Okay, so enough about that. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's a better story than how I got my SAG card.
But look, you're doing way more with your stuff than I am. That kind of came and went. Yeah.
Well, I moved out to LA to be an actor, but then I transitioned into writing and directing, and that's what I do primarily. I'm not trying to be an actor. I put myself in stuff every once in a while because it's fun, but I'm not trying to do that.
Okay, so tell me how you transitioned to writing.
So when I first came out here in 2007, I didn't have an acting reel, and trying to get auditions and stuff like that, and trying to get an agent. If you didn't have a reel, there's no way they could see or even know what you could do before they brought you in for an audition. So somebody told me I should make a short film, and I did. I wrote, directed, and starred in this short film, and I taught myself how to edit. And I hired.
Any writing like classes or?
No. I read a bunch of scripts. I read a bunch of books about screenwriting, and I just started doing it. It was when YouTube first started popping off. So before I did that short film, I did a couple YouTube sketches and like a web series. Okay. But that short film was like the first legitimate like script that I ever wrote.
Right. Okay. So now you're out in LA, you're writing now.
Yeah.
That was 2008, around that time. Mm-hmm. Now we're in 2020. So when I met you was 2011. You had been out there for a while. So take me past that time. All right. Past the time we met, and kind of what got you on the path to where you are now. Okay.
Yeah. Now, like a lot of people that come out here, I was just trying to do everything, and just get in where I could fit in. I was writing stuff. I was directing music videos and spec commercials. I was acting. I was auditioning. I was even rapping. I was rapping. I put out a mixtape. I filmed a couple music videos. I was doing everything. I was doing it all.
First of all, wait a minute. I'm not laughing at you. I'm gonna tell you why. I remade one of my dad's songs.
No, I didn't know that. What song?
I Got the Feeling. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, yeah? Baby.
Okay. Did you rap over it? Tell me you rapped over it.
No. Well, I didn't. No, I remade it. And at the end, I did a little rap.
Okay.
Now, remember, I was in pharmacy school when I did this. So I was in school to be a doctor. And I would just ride with him one day. Long story, I won't even get into that. But anyway, I ended up remaking that song and doing another one. So it is out on his Brownstone record label. Bet Your Bottom Dollar, and I Got the Feeling, Yamma Brown. It is completely not worthy of the radio or anything, but it's just a fun fact.
That's about to go in the rotation. That's going to be in my rotation for the summer.
It's on Spotify. I downloaded it the other day. I was like, this is crazy.
See, you got all the good stories. I should be interviewing you.
No, your stories are just as dope. We get into the real juicy part. We just priming it. Okay, so go ahead. You rapped.
So I was doing everything, and I was taking the job. I didn't have a real job, so in order to pay rent, aside from my parents helping me out, I was taking whatever little job I can get. And I was I didn't have an apartment. I was sleeping on people's couches for like 4 years.
Really?
One year, my friend who had a house, she let me stay in her guest room, and then the other 3 years, I was sleeping on people's couches. And my other dude that lived in Inglewood, he let me stay there for a year. And this is another dude from The Wire, my boy Brandon Fobbs. He let me stay at this place for a year rent free. So I had a lot of good friends that was helping me out like that. And I was
really on that grind.
Oh yeah. I even slept in my car a couple times.
I've heard stories about that.
So
not about you, but just about people I know.
Yeah. No, a lot of people went through it, and my story isn't nearly as tragic as some other people. I slept in my car twice. I wasn't doing that bad. I had places to go.
Yeah.
The only reason I slept in my car those 2 nights was I was staying with a friend who had roaches, and I was staying in a 4-bedroom apartment with like 13, 14 people, and I was sleeping on the couch in the living room, and there was like 2 other people. And it was like I was getting ate up, not just roaches, but like ant bed bugs or whatever.
Let me ask you this, Jameel. Did you grow up with a lot of brothers and sisters, a lot of people in your home?
No. I got a brother and a sister, and we have different mothers. So by the time I was like 10 or 11, they moved in with their mother. So I kind of was like an only child for a few years.
So this was really out of the ordinary for you to be doing all of this.
Yeah, I was kind of used to it because when I was at Hampton, I got used to living in a dorm and just being around a lot of people. So that was fine. And it was fun. It was kind of like college in a way, especially the first couple years. We was hanging out every night, and we were all out here trying to make it, and it was the camaraderie was a big part of how I survived the first couple years, because I didn't like it when I came out here.
Yeah. Okay, so now you are on your grind doing what y'all folks do out in LA. On that grind. My nephew out there, he on that grind too. I love him.
Didn't I meet him at your on the shoot?
Yes. He's still out there.
He's still. What's he doing?
DJing.
Oh, okay.
He also works too, and he has a little business. But and he just launched a new app, a clean app, where it's about cleaning the environment, trash, and everything. So if you see trash and you need somebody to clean it, it's like Uber for trash, and it's the whole purpose is to clean up the environment. But yeah, he's out there, he's DJing, he's doing his thing. So but all right, so now I got a chance to see you. Well, let's talk about your writing. Let's talk about some of the shows you have written on. I know you don't want to toot your own horn, but can we talk about South Park? Man, how did that happen?
Now, South Park is my favorite show of all time. I've been watching it since I was 14. And before I got the call that South Park was looking for writers, I was literally like watching South Park the night before. And every night, it was the show that I would watch before I went to sleep. That's how much I love South Park. So when my agent called me and said, would you be interested in writing for South Park? I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like, that's a call I never imagined I would get in a million years. Like, if you asked me when I came out here and started writing, if you could write for any show, what would you write for? Saying like South Park I couldn't even fathom that would be a possibility.
Right, I get it.
But I got the call. I met with the executive producer. We talked for like maybe a half hour. By like 8 o'clock that night, I get a call from my manager saying, she loves you. They want you to come in tomorrow to meet Matt Stone. Matt Stone's one of the co-creators of South Park.
Yes. I am an avid South Park watcher. So
are you? Okay. And I went in and met with him. We talked for like 20 minutes. a very small part of that was me talking about, what I had done. And, then we just started just chopping it up. And because a lot of these meetings, they just want to know, they've already read your work, read your writing samples. They just want to know if you're a person they can hang out with. And won't mess up the vibe in the writer's room. So
really?
we hit it off. We talked about video games. And then I got a call that night saying I got the job.
So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna be honest and straight with you, especially in light of everything that we're dealing with right now. We'll talk about COVID and the entertainment industry and getting back to that in a minute. But just in light of the racial, do you ever feel like you've experienced any racism?
Yes, but it's it's the racism you experience from liberals who don't believe that they're racist, and it's very subtle,
Okay.
It's because it's kind of like Get Out, it's that kind of racism.
Okay, kind of like so, and the reason I asked you is it's like they don't know that they're being racist, but it's more about being entitled and being used to a certain thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, not just that they don't know that they're being racist. They don't want to acknowledge that they're being racist.
Okay, because it's going to shift some things for them, right?
Yeah, it's going to mess with their narrative that they're super liberal, super accepting person.
Okay.
And this racism in the form of them maybe not believing that you can do a certain thing. It's like, oh, we don't want to put too much on you, or we don't want to give you this title because we don't think you're ready for it. It's small things like that, like,
oh, okay.
I got my first staff writing job in 2014 on an ABC show. Now, typically
this ABC show was
Manhattan Love Story. It got canceled after the first season. So,
okay, I remember it though.
Y'all,
in case y'all remember Manhattan Love Story on ABC.
It was cool. I got to move to New York.
Keep it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was a good opportunity for me. I got to move to New York, and I'm writing for a major TV network.
Man.
Now, typically, you go from one show, you get the next show, and you get a promotion. Every year, you get moved up. So you go from staff writer to story editor to executive story editor, co-producer, and so on. I was a staff writer 3 years in a row, and the first 2 of those years, I was like the diversity hire, and that's how they got away with that. And the diversity hire, it's you're the writer that they have a diversity slot, and with the diversity slot, TV shows have diversity slots, and the thing about that is they don't have to pay for that writer. That's a free writer because the network studio, the network of the studio, it's in a push to get more diversity in TV writing. They have this money in the budget for writers, so it's kind of not in the budget. Like, you don't have to spend money on this diversity hire, and you can save money and use it somewhere else. So I was the diversity hire on the first show I was on, and when you're the diversity hire and they're not paying for you, they're not expecting much from you, and I didn't want to be the diversity hire. I wanted to get hired on the merit of me being a good writer,
right?
Which you still have to, in that diversity slot, they still have to pick you out of a group of writers, and you're usually going to be the best writer in the bunch. But still, there's a negative connotation if you're like the free diversity hire. So I was a staff writer 3 years in a row, and that's the kind of subtle racism I'm talking about. I should have got promoted after that first year.
Okay. Got it. But you moved to New York, like you said, did that. That was nice, and then came back to LA.
Show got canceled. I came back I got another job immediately after that on Cedric the Entertainer and Niecy Nash's show.
I came out there with Jamp and saw you then. Remember, we bought so James Brown Academy of Music pupils is Jamp, and we had our students out there, and they
Oh
met.
yeah.
Yeah, they were there because Cedric had invited. Yeah, they met
Yeah.
Cedric, they met Nisi, and actually my friend Bert Belasco was actually filming that night as well. And then I realized you were the writer. I was like, what is going on? This is
That's crazy.
amazing.
Small world. Yeah. Yeah.
And that show was really good. I like that show too.
And that show went for like 6 seasons. I was only a writer on I think season 5, but
Okay.
that was a good experience. Also, I went from, it's not easy. Once you get in and you write on your first show, it's a lot easier to get other jobs. But still, I know writers that were on Manhattan Love Story with me that didn't get their next job for like a year or 2.
Oh wow!
I got my job right after that got canceled. So I was just.
So let me ask you: is there something so like with musicians? The Recording Academy has music cares. So since a lot of people have been out of work, a lot of musicians. My girlfriend that I do Soul Sisters with is Isaac Hayes' daughter, Heather Hayes. And so when you talk about South Park, I always think about chocolate salty balls. So we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious, but anyway, they have obviously music cares because that helps artists that have been out of work and blah blah blah, and they really stepped up. Is there something that's been like that for writers, directors?
There's something I've seen something Actors Fund. I haven't seen the. I know that the WGA,
the Writers Guild.
Majority of the TV writers are members of the Writers Guild. They have some kind of fund, and they are paying out to unemployed writers. But
okay,
yeah,
that's good. Yeah, that's good because when you say somebody goes a year, I mean, it's hard to plan for that length of time without work, and that's your work. It's not just a hobby; it's what you do. So that's difficult for a lot of people.
And I know people that were staff writers on shows, and then a couple years later, I see them and they're working regular jobs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get on a show or two, and you don't get any more work after that. It's not guaranteed.
Okay. Well, it's been working for you. So now we done gone past SETI, Nisi, and now so where are you right now, especially in the midst of COVID? How have things been for you? How have things changed?
I tell you, I've been blessed because I'm still working. I actually got a job after lockdown. I got hired on a new Netflix show, and I literally have not met any of my coworkers, any of the other writers in person. We've been doing this Google Hangout, virtual writers room thing. So
wow,
it's been fine for me.
Have you left your house?
Have I left my house?
Yes.
Not much, but because I get my groceries delivered and I get everything delivered.
I just thought about that. Have you left yet?
I on the weekends I'll take a drive somewhere because I have to for my sanity. But I don't go out.
People in person.
Say that again.
Have you been around any other people in person?
A couple times. I went to the beach a couple weekends ago with a friend of mine. It was me, her, and her sister, and we were just walking around. It's funny. We were at Venice Beach. We had masks on, but did we have masks on?
You might not have at the beach.
No, yeah, and then a lot of people didn't have masks on, but
yeah.
But yeah, we walking around, and then I go for drives. I get out every once in a while, but I'm a homebody, so this is light work for me. I do this normally.
Yeah, you like what? You like lockdown? What's this normal?
Give me more time to write and more time to play video games. And I'm single right now, so I don't have a significant other to take up that time. So I've been playing a lot of video games.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, so that has a lot to do with it too. But it's just interesting because I have friends. Because Atlanta been on some old different stuff. We a little crazy down here.
Yeah.
But I had some friends, definitely in New York and in LA, and I've been like, "What y'all been doing?" Because y'all been on lockdown, and we just been kind of going and coming.
Yeah. It's everything's opened up now. We're in
Yeah.
like the last phase.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually I had brunch by myself
Mm.
Saturday. I sat down at a restaurant. They had outdoor seating set up. It was my favorite
Mhm.
restaurant. And that was a nice return to normalcy for me. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, things are opening up now here.
Well, that's cool. So now, can you tell us what Netflix show this is, or is this Mom's?
It hasn't been announced yet.
Okay. I love Netflix. How you like working with them?
Yeah, it's great. So I'm on
I
two
mean, of
Netflix
course, you're not gonna say anything negative, but
shows. I'm on two Netflix shows. I'm also on Disenchantment. The crazy thing is, after South Park, I was there for 3 years, and then I did this other show, Whiskey Cavalier, on ABC. Went back to ABC,
uh-huh.
and then I got a call from my agent saying Matt Groening wants to meet with you. You know who Matt Groening is?
Yes,
The
I did.
creator of The Simpsons. So
Yes,
that's which
yeah,
is my other favorite show. So I got hired by Matt Groening and his partner Josh Weinstein to write and produce for his Netflix show Disenchantment. So I'm also on that. So I'm doing that and the secret Netflix show that hasn't been announced yet. I,
you're doing some good stuff, man. That's
yeah,
cool.
I think I can say that the star of this Netflix. Can I say that?
Don't say not gonna get you in
Yeah,
trouble because
yeah.
it's gonna
All
be all over my Facebook. Not
right.
that nobody watch it, but I
Right,
mean,
right.
you
I,
never know.
we gonna announce soon. I
Okay.
think we're gonna announce soon. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So,
I'm definitely going to support you because I love what you're doing.
thank you. Thank you.
You have, I mean, just from what I can see over the last 9 years we've been knowing each other, just you've done some amazing things, and it looks like you've had a lot of dreams come true.
Yeah.
Um, but it wasn't always easy, and that's the thing. That's that struggle that people don't talk
People
about.
don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't see all the years of just grinding and not getting a lot of rejection. That's
Yeah.
a big part of the game here is rejection, and
Yeah.
that never goes away. I'm still getting rejected, for certain things, but
Okay, so are you doing any films yet, or are you gonna stick to TV?
yeah. I'm actually working on a movie I'm writing a movie for Lil Rel and Miles Brown, the young boy from Blackish.
Oh, okay. I
Mhm.
love both of them.
Yeah, they're great, and
Okay.
it's kind of like a buddy comedy. It's gonna be real dope.
All right. So comedy. Is that your specialty?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I enjoy levity. I got the thing that drew me to TV and film as a kid was escapism, and
Right.
I feel like now more than ever, and it's not to say you should ignore what's going on in the world, but you should also take breaks and
Yeah.
watch something that'll make you laugh or make you cry, or it's just something that's going to take your mind off of what's going on, at least for a couple hours, and then
Yeah.
so that's what I want to do. I don't
Yeah.
I don't enjoy watching movies that are about like real like stuff that's going on, like really going on in the world, like
Mm-hmm.
depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I want to see some aliens or some zombies.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's just, what you need to kind of get through. So I feel you.
Mhm.
All right, well, that's good. I mean, we'll stick
Well,
to the comedy and all that stuff. Now, let me ask you this: I'm sure you do. Do you watch Saturday Night Live, or are you a fan of Saturday Night Live?
not really.
No.
I every once in a while I watch some clips on YouTube, but
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you follow Michael Che or if you liked him or whatever. But
I watched this stand-up show. I liked it.
yes. Okay, so I haven't seen the stand-up. I haven't seen it on Netflix. To be perfectly honest, but I do like him as a writer, and I realize that he's like the first African American head writer for Saturday Night Live.
I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Yes. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But anyway, he recently had kind of impromptu thing that he did in Long Island City where he came out with just a mic and da da da. And a friend of mine lives in Long Island City, and I said, "You gotta go." And so I was hoping that he was gonna go live because I just love his humor. I mean, it's like dry humor, you know.
Yeah,
It's like Larry David or
Right. No, I do. I like his style, and I really enjoyed his stand-up special, especially the some of the racial bits that he did were really smart and funny.
Yeah, I mean, his Black Lives Matters section has been shared and shared and shared.
Yeah.
And he did
That's
that
been going around a lot lately.
Yes. And I mean, it's difficult. It's funny, and I'm not gonna keep you much long because I know we've been on here 30 minutes, and I want to wrap up and tell so folks can know where they can find you and talk to you and follow you and see everything you got going on. But I do want to say this in light of everything that's going on. I've been asked to kind of talk to some corporate people just about how we get back in light of COVID. We talk about safety precautions and stuff like that, going back into the office. But actually, more importantly, our civil relationships, or how we go back into an office setting and Black Lives Matter, or this stuff with George Floyd or Breonna Taylor is hanging out there. Do we talk about it? And people are asking, like, how do I talk about it? Most importantly, Caucasian people, but they're asking what's right to say, what's wrong to say. And I just find it interesting that now we gotta, I mean, which we should, but it's opened up a lot of needed conversation, I think.
Yeah, and those conversations are very necessary. I can tell you personally, because I'm in a room with, I'm the only person of color in the writer's room that I'm in. And usually in any writer's room I'm in, I don't want to talk about it with them. I avoided like the plague. I really don't, no offense, don't want to talk to a white person about what's going on right now.
Why is that? Why don't you want to?
Because I don't have the emotional bandwidth right now. Because I had a couple panic attacks a couple weekends ago, and I've never had panic attacks in my life.
Really?
I don't have the emotional bandwidth to explain to them how I'm feeling and try to convince them, or not convince them, but explain to them so they get it, so they can empathize with me.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you said that, because that's part of, we had a kind of like a preliminary discussion prior to this discussion with some other, I'm not the only one talking, there's some other ladies, but I'm the only African-American person talking. And we were just talking about it, and I was like, it's interesting because it's kind of on y'all. And when I say it's on them, I mean, we know what the issues are. The issues have been there, but it's on them in a sense to find out, not what, like, I mean, I don't want it to be like, oh, what can I do to make everything better? It's not that. It's just like, how can I understand really? And even in that, and us having these conversations where people want to know how to be more sensitive, what to say, I think is even a step, because it has been a point where people are just like, well, that's our issue. They deal with it, but they don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
I just want to say, like, how can you not understand by now? Why do you need me to explain it to you? How can you not get it by now?
Well, you got to be politically correct. That's what I would love to say, but you cannot say that. You have got to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it's unfortunate, because a lot of us feel like we're done with talking, but we still do have to talk. I mean, we can't just be like, well, I'm done with talking. We got to have conversations if people really want to try to understand and move forward. But it is very obvious.
Yeah, no, and for me personally, I don't think it's not my place to have these discussions. I'll leave it up to much more like informed and smarter people. That,
I mean, have you ever gotten pulled over by the cops?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. For something that you think was racial profiling?
Oh, multiple times, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you are a person of color. You understand the plight. You understand how shit can go left real quick, and
Yeah,
how it's more often us than it is them. So in that
yeah.
regard, you have a voice
I know. I just don't understand why they don't get that yet.
because they're not black.
No,
It
but
don't happen to them.
it's been happening for so long, and we've been screaming about it for so long, for years, decades. How do you not? How are you like, oh my
Because
God,
you know why?
no?
You know why? It's the same reason people always say this, and I'm gonna leave it here because we don't want to get too racial. It's the same reason why people are like, well, I want to see what happened before the video. What happened to provoke him to do this? And you always like, it doesn't matter. It's right there on the video what happened. What do you mean what happened before?
Yeah,
So it's
and it,
the same.
yeah, and it doesn't. That's what are we talking about? I thought we were talking about like systemic racism and a system of white supremacy. If you're talking about, yeah, maybe the guy committed a crime, but did he deserve to die for that?
Right.
And would a white person die for that same crime? Hell no. That's
Right.
what we're talking about. We're not like, let's not get into semantics about what this person did before the video came on. It doesn't matter. He didn't deserve to die.
And that's always the conversation that we get to. It never stays on that one topic. So hopefully, in light of all this and everything else and stuff that keeps on happening, we'll be able to have some more heartfelt conversations. Now,
And
one
in
last
the meantime,
thing before we go, we're gonna get off that because we talk about that.
right.
What does it look like with the entertainment industry,
Mhm.
production-wise, going forward? I heard that Governor Newsom just said that y'all can go back to production starting what, June 12th? That's Friday, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They released guidelines. I didn't read through them yet, but you know,
You don't spend a lot of time on set though, do you? Or do you?
no, not because I've been working in animation. So thankfully, like, animation is great right now, and the studios and the networks are looking for more animation because it's, you know, because of that fact. Everything is done. You know, there's no set. You got actors who go in a recording booth by themselves and record their lines. Animators can work from home. Storyboard artists can work from home.
Wow.
So, animation is great right now.
Can we animate a James Brown film?
Hell yeah. Would you do like Bebe's Kids and use snippets of his voice for the
that would be so dope. Well, you know the Simpsons. See, he did something with the Simpsons. You got to pull that up.
I think I remember that.
That was way back in the 90s. He did that. So that was a lot of fun. I remember him doing that, talking about it, all of that. Really loved doing it.
His perfect voice for animation, you know? Like, it's one of the greatest voices of all time.
Hey, let's do something. What's up?
Right, let's talk. I'm down. Let's talk.
Okay.
I got an animated series that I'm developing right now.
Okay.
So
Look, we need a black music superhero. I don't know. I'm sure you can figure out something to incorporate James Brown into a whole series.
Yeah, definitely. Can we call him James Brown?
What do you mean? Can you call him James Brown? Of course.
Like, I don't know like what the
legal stuff is.
The legal stuff, yeah.
Well, yes, you can call him James Brown. We'll talk about that offline, but we do it the right way. But okay. Yeah, we can do all of that.
All right, yeah.
I think it would be really dope. It would be something different, you know.
Yeah.
They've been doing James Brown comic books in Japan for years.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Japanese, and they ain't asked nobody could they do it. They've been doing it. You know, they don't have to.
They don't, yeah. They call him James Brown? Or I guess
it's not called James Brown. Right? It's in there, you know, it's written in Mandarin. So yeah. Japanese, because it's in Japan. It's not Chinese. But so
hey,
I've been doing stuff for years. I'll have to show you some of the comic book stuff. It's kind of dope. But we can do some stuff. But again, thank you Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
I know.
It's been a while. I mean, we talk on Instagram and stuff and Facebook and stuff like that, but
yeah, I know we don't see each other face to face. I know last time I was out there, I think you were busy. We didn't get a chance to link up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you'll be doing any traveling soon, but
I'm
trying to get out of LA for a while.
I'm actually thinking about coming to LA for the Grammys if they have it in January.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they'll probably have it. It might not. You know what though? They might have to do something like 50% occupancy, so it might not be as many seats available.
So I don't know if I came out last year to go to the Grammys because Isaac Hayes was being honored with Lifetime Achievement Award. And so I came out with Heather, but I didn't go to the Grammys. I walked the red carpet and watched it from somewhere else with other folk. But, and that's probably what I'll end up doing again. But they'll probably be very selective. I'm thinking that it may even be not a lot of guests. So if you're not being honored, if you're not a presenter, you probably won't be able to get tickets, even though I'm a member. Right. So I'm not sweating that. If I can walk the red carpet and go on and do something else, I'll be happy.
Go to the parties, Grammy parties. I know that I'm just trying to get out of LA as soon as I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I'm taking a little trip to Miami next week for a week. The family was supposed to go in March, and we postponed it till now. So we just gonna go.
Yeah, let me know how it is. I
will. I mean, I probably won't hang out at the beach too much, but it'll just be nice to get out of Atlanta.
Yeah. I got a short film that I entered in the a bunch of festivals, but Atlanta Film Festival is one of them. If we get in, I'm gonna come.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now let me ask you: have you ever entered in anything like the American Black Film Festival or anything like that? Do you do?
Yeah, I tried to put this short in the ABFF, and the deadline had passed, so I couldn't submit it. But yeah, I did submit to like the Toronto Black Film Festival and some others.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I couldn't get into that. But and then submitting to the big ones like Sundance and Slam Dance. And
what about Bronze Film Festival?
Bronze. Where's that at?
Bronze Lens. It's in Atlanta. African American owned by a sister.
Oh, where? I got
it. Roots was the opening night several years ago when Civil Rights Museum opened, and they did Roots. They filmed, when Roots came out. They did it at the Bronze Lens. They opened it. But you should look into that because I'm sure once they have it, it'll be another good thing to showcase your film as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll check that out.
All right. Well, thank you again. Yeah. Where can everybody find you so they can keep up with what you got going on?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter. My name on same thing. Yeah, it's the same on Instagram and Twitter. It's Germantown Jam. Germantown. That's the Germantown's where I'm from in Philly.
Okay.
In Philly. So Germantown JAM.
Okay. All right. Speaking of Philly, so you from Philly, you gonna work with Will Smith? I know that's got to come at some point.
Yeah, when I first moved out here, I was a production assistant on some movies and TV shows, and I was a production assistant on Hancock, and I met him. Yeah, and so and my friend was his assistant, so he got me the job. So I actually met Will Smith a couple times.
Okay, well I got a chance
to work with him on something.
I love Will Smith. I got a chance to meet him at Muhammad Ali's funeral. The family went to pay respects to him, and we were sitting, kind of behind him. And I was like, I need a picture with Will Smith. And I saw Jada first. We took a picture with Jada. I was like, hey, Jada. We took a picture, the whole Baltimore thing. I was like, where Will at, though? She was like, he over there. I was like, okay. And then we took a picture. Funny story, and you'll get a kick out of this. We took a picture, and my whole family took a picture with him. So it was my daughter, my sister, and me and him. And we took a picture. He was very gracious. And for whatever reason, they only caught me and Will. And it went on Variety. It went all all around the news that day of Muhammad Ali's funeral.
Yeah.
Will and Jada Pinkett arrive at Muhammad Ali's funeral, and it's a picture of me and Will. And somebody's like, somebody texted me, and it was like, you on Variety's Instagram page. Like, what's up with that? They think you Jada. And
That's
so
hilarious.
I went on it, and they were like, they cute. And then somebody was like, that is not Jada.
Wow.
They were like, I don't know who that is, but it's like Jada. They eventually took it down, but it was just funny. It's my funny Will Smith story.
That's a good story.
I got a ton of them. All right, we're gonna talk about this James Brown cartoon, cartoon animation. And thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother, so much for coming on here, because I know this is not your jam to be interviewed.
It's not my thing. I like to be behind the camera, but I never mind talking to you. So anytime.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Well, I love you, and you take care. And hopefully I'll see you in January when I come out there.
All right. Bet.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for tuning in. He's a really good guy, and I'm the interview with freaking almost an hour, but that's great. I love it. And y'all tune in next week. I'm on it again. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.